about today is about the woodcutter's wisdom. And I've taken it from Max Lucado's book, In the Eye of the Storm. Something happened and you think, why has that happened? I don't understand it. And as I was praying, I felt the Lord directed me to read this. It's a fable that is actually put in one of the stories in his book, which is called the Woodcutter's Wisdom. That's the title of this verse. I'll start it anyway. Once there was an old man who lived in a tiny village. Although poor, he was envied by all, for he owned a beautiful white horse. Even the king coveted his treasure. A horse like this had never been seen before. Such was its splendour, its majesty, and its strength. People offered fabulous prices for his steed, but the old man always refused. "This horse is not a horse to me," he would tell them. "It's a person." How could you sell a person? He is a friend, not a possession. How could you sell a friend? The man was poor, and the temptation was great, but he never sold the horse. One morning he found that the horse was not in the stable. All the villagers came to see him. "You old fool," they scoffed. We told you that someone would steal your horse. We warned you that you would be robbed. You are so poor, how could you ever hope to protect such a valuable animal? It would have been better to have sold him. You could have gotten whatever price you wanted. No amount would have been too high. Now the horse is gone and you've been cursed with misfortune. The old man responded, "Don't speak so quickly. Say only that the horse is not in the stable. That is all we know. The rest is judgment. If I've been a curse or not, how can you know? How can you judge?" The people contested, "Don't make us out to be fools. We may not be philosophers, but greatly we know that what you needed, the simple fact that your horse is gone, is a curse." The old man spoke again. "All I know is that the stable is empty and that the horse is gone. The rest I don't know. Whether it be a curse or a blessing, I can't say. All we can see is a fragment. We can say what will come next. We can't say what will come next." The people of the village laughed. They thought that the man was crazy. They'd always thought he was a fool. If he wasn't, he would have sold the horse and lived off the money. But instead, he was a poor woodcutter, an old man still cutting firewood and dragging it out of the forest and selling it. He lived from hand to mouth in misery and poverty. Now he had proven that he was indeed a fool. After 15 days, the horse returned. He hadn't been stolen. He had run away into the forest. Not only had he returned, he had brought a dozen wild horses with him. Once again, the villagers gathered round the woodcutter and spoke. "Old man, you were right. We were wrong. What we thought was a curse was a blessing. Please forgive us." The man responded once again, "You go too far. Say only that the horse is back. Say only that a dozen horses return with him, but don't judge. How do you know if this is a blessing or not? You see only a fragment. Unless you know the whole story, how can you judge? You read only one page of a book. How can you judge the whole book? You read only one word of a phrase. Can you understand the entire phrase? Life is so vast, yet you judge all life with one page or one word. All you have is a fragment. Don't say this is a blessing. No, no one knows. I am content with what I know. I am not perturbed by what I don't. Maybe the old man is right, they said to one another. So they said little, but down deep they knew he was wrong. They knew it was a blessing. 12 white horses had been returned with one horse. With a little bit of work, the animals could be broken and trained and sold for much money. The old man had a son, an only son. The young man began to break the wild horses. After a few days, he fell from one of the horses and broke his legs. Once again the villagers gathered around the old man and cast their judgments. You were right, they said. You proved you were right. The dozen horses were not a blessing, they were a curse. Your only son has broken his legs, and now in your old age you have no one to help you. Now you are poorer than ever. The old man spoke again. You people are obsessed with judging. Don't go so far. Say only what my son broke his legs. We know it if it's a blessing or a curse. No one knows. We only have a fragment of life. Life comes in fragments. It so happened that a few weeks later, the country engaged in a war against a neighbouring country, and all the young men, all the villagers were required to join the army. Only the one son of the old man was excluded because he was injured. And once again the people gathered around the old man, crying and screaming because their sons had been taken, and there was little chance that they would return. The enemy was strong, and the war would be a losing struggle. They would never see their sons again. You were right, old man, they wept. God knows you were right. This proves it. Your son's accident was a blessing. His legs were broken, but at least he is with you. Our sons are gone forever. The old man spoke again. It is possible to talk with you. You always draw conclusions. It's impossible to talk with you. You always draw conclusion. No one knows, says only this. Your sons had to go to war and mine did not. No one knows it's a blessing or a curse. No one is wise enough to know. Only God knows. Only God knows the truth. Only God has a full picture. And so he was speaking to me saying, don't just see what you see. Try and look at the whole story. Look to me. Don't lean on your own understanding.